hypothalamus, right? Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is part of the central nervous system, brain. It has a stalk that takes hormones, obviously secreted here, into the pituitary. And if you look at the pituitary, it has two areas, two zones, two parts. The anterior, because this is the anterior, and the posterior. What's the difference between these guys? So this portion here that connects the pituitary to the hypothalamus is called infundibulum or stalk. This is anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary. In the anterior pituitary, we have like, I don't know, 9 hormones, whatever. But in the posterior pituitary, we have 2 hormones that I want you to know by name that are secreted as neurotransmitters in 2 different locations in the hypothalamus. All I want you to remember is that these 2 hormones, oxytocin and ADH, right? Oxytocin acts on the uterus, the smooth muscle of the uterus, and produces contractions during delivery. And also on the mammary glands postpartum, and eliminates, favors secretion and elimination of milk. And all other activities, all other actions that oxytocin has, and we're not going to go into that kind of detail. The second hormone you guys have mentioned is ADH. ADH stands for anti-diuretic hormone. If we translate that in like normal, vernacular, so to speak, speech, anti means against, diuretic means to pee, right? Hormone is a, substance that is secreted somewhere and has an action somewhere else. So this hormone is basically stopping our kidneys from losing water and us from peeing, right? Without this hormone, the disease that these people are developing is called diabetes insipidus. Diabetes is because it's a lot. Insipidus because it doesn't have any taste. So what doesn't have any taste? The diabetes? No, the pee. The urine of these people is so diluted, it's just water. So these people without ADH, without secretion of ADH in diabetes insipidus, they could pee, up to like 4 buckets of water per day, like 40 liters of water per day. And they have to drink as much water. So they basically sit on the toilet and they drink water all day long. What they can be treated with is, initially they were treated with lyophilized, which is dried extract of bovine posterior pituitary, that they would just inhale or snort or whatever you want to call it. These days they have, better medication. Now, from pituitary, we have hormones that are pituitary hormones that are going to act on the peripheral endocrine glands. Peripheral endocrine glands are thyroid. So this is the thyroid. And because we're talking about the thyroid, and this is a model of a larynx. We're going to look at it when we talk about the respiratory system also, but it's where the thyroid is located. And you see that the thyroid has 2 lobes, and an intermediate lobe, an isthmic lobe. And then it surrounds the larynx. And if we turn it around, we see that the posterior portion of the thyroid has these 4, sometimes 6 very small glands that are called parathyroids. Parathyroids. Thyroid secretes T3, T4, which is thyroxine and tetraiodothyroxine and 3-iodothyronine. Parathyroid gland secretes PTH and calcitonin. PTH is parathormone, very important role in calcium metabolism, right? So this would be the thyroid, which is, like from the top to the bottom, the first gland, right? Followed by the suprarenal glands or adrenal glands that are basically sitting on top of kidneys. Very good. And these glands, let me see if we see any of these, probably somewhere there, we're going to see them. They have a cortical area that are secreting mineralocorticoids and glucocorticoids, and a central area or a medullary area inside, which is, if you remember from the nervous system, and especially from the autonomic nervous system, it is a sympathetic ganglia. It's a modified sympathetic ganglia. And this modified sympathetic ganglia secretes adrenaline and noradrenaline, also known as epinephrine and norepinephrine. It is the portion of the adrenal gland that's responsible for fight or flight responses, right? So let's say you see a bear in the doorway, right? You see a bear in the doorway, and the first reaction is like cuddly, oh, little berry. No, bears are scary. I don't know if you've seen them in person. I have. Danger. It's scary. It's absolutely, because they're out everything us. They're out run us. They're out. They're much stronger than we are. They're scary. So when you see something scary that puts your body in a fight or flight response, is because of the secretion of epinephrine and norepinephrine by the adrenal medulla, right? Other endocrine glands are dispersed in the body of and especially in the tail of the pancreas. So I don't know if you remember from digestion. If not, we're going to go over next week. This is the pancreas. It's a retroperitoneal organ. Some people are calling it a digestive associated organ, or but